Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Quality Accounts webinar discussing innovation in ADA curb surveying. My name is Roxy Booth. I work on QC's marketing team, and I'll be your host today. On the right-hand side, you'll see a chat box. Please use this area to ask questions throughout the presentation. You can choose in the drop-down to either send them directly to me or allow all attendees to see the question, whichever you would prefer. Or you could also drop them in the Q&A section. We'll answer all questions at the end of the presentation, so go ahead and use that area just as a parking lot for ideas or questions, and we'll try to get to all of them at the end. We're excited to partner with Reiker to deliver the ADAM solution to agencies and communities across the country. Colton Curry is Reiker's marketing specialist, and he will be leading the presentation today. Joe Dinnigan will be assisting Colton, and he is Reiker's VP of Operations with over 25 years in the construction industry. So now I'm going to hand it over to Keisha. She's in Reiker's marketing department, and she's going to talk about some of the helpful resources that they have for you and some of the research the Reiker team has been doing. So Keisha, take it away.
Thanks, Roxy. Yeah, so my name is Keisha Denigan, and like Roxy said, I'm the project manager for the marketing team here at Reiker, and I will just be giving you guys a short overview of what we've been up to as the marketing team and what we've accomplished thus far, as well as what you'll be seeing in the webinar and a couple of fun things to come. So since March, we've really been focusing on ADAM and creating various documents and marketing tools in support of this product. What we've been able to accomplish thus far is a white paper on the product itself, as well as an FAQ and a capabilities brochure. We also have a white paper on NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and the importance of traceability there. We have also created a social playbook, which is just an outline of the campaigns that we're hoping to launch across various social media platforms and where and what those will be. These are all housed on the Reiker Resource Library, which is a living library we have created that is free to register. It has currently over 100 documents existing in there, and that will constantly be updating and adding on to. You will see a bunch of links sprinkled throughout to the registration for that in our webinar. Within the webinar, you will also be seeing two videos that we have created. One is a product demo, just a short example of what ADAM is, how it functions, as well as a demo of the report generation and the different solutions that ADAM offers. To come, we will be creating user guides that will go into each kit, and we're also excited to create a marker placement tutorial that really walks you through more once you've hopefully decided that ADAM is the solution for you, how to kind of go through and walk through that on-site real-time application of the product. And we're also currently in talks with influencers to get our social media campaigns launched, which we have a target date of the 29th of July for, which is also the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. So we're very excited to launch everything in tandem with that and really just stay on message, because of course we're all here to create accessibility for all. So with that, and without any further ado, let's jump into the webinar. Colt, would you like to take it away?
Absolutely. All right. Well, welcome to the Advanced Data Acquisition and Measurement webinar presented by Reiker Inc., also known as the ADAM webinar. Like stated earlier, I'll be your host. My name is Colt. Alongside me, serving as a technical advisor on the ADAM solution, is our Vice President of Operations, Joe Denigan. Now, he's really the guy who has technical expertise on ADAM, and he'll be able to answer any questions that anyone may have following the webinar. So we have about a 30-minute time frame today. Now, I want to stay within those confines. I'll try and keep it short and concise. I know we've probably all been busy with online meetings, conferences, maybe even a few webinars here and there, just due to the current state of affairs out in the world right now. So I will try and keep it short and get us out of here on time with the information needed. So we're all here because of the American Disabilities Act, and more specifically in regards to accessibility. So through this presentation, Reiker's goal is to show you the steps that we're taking through the ADAM solution to create a more accessible future for all. Now, before we jump into it, I'm going to give us a little bit of an overview on what we're planning on to cover today. So first, we're going to look at the Reiker Quality Counts relationship. From there, we'll go to Reiker, our history, what's the more recent innovations that we've been working on. Following that, we'll look at the current curb inspection method. So what is that method? What are the problems associated with that method? And what's the liability attached to problematic curb inspection? Once we have a better idea on the curb inspection that's being used today, we're going to introduce you to the ADAM solution. We'll show you what differentiates our solution from those current methods. And then we'll show you a quick video, which is going to be a product overview. It's going to show you all the cool features and gadgets that are attached to the ADAM solution. So you'll learn a lot about that. Once you know what the ADAM solution is, we're going to show you exactly what it can provide the user with following the inspection. So 2 types of reporting. We'll get into detail on what those are. And then we'll show you a video that shows you even more, a deeper dive into what those reportings are and how they're each unique. Following that, we'll look at who benefits from ADAM. So who are the parties that are going to benefit from this tool? And we'll touch on how they benefit. Then we'll look at the Reiker Resource Library. As we've talked about earlier, it's a living library. It has tons of documents. I'll get more into detail about that later on. Then we'll touch on why it's important to use an accredited vendor like Quality Counts when dealing with the ADAM solution and what the benefits are. And then lastly, we'll open the floor for some questions. So we got a lot to cover. Let's jump right into it. So Reiker and Quality Counts relationship. So Quality Counts is a nationwide employee-owned transportation data collection firm with offices in 10 cities across the U.S. Now, QC has been in existence for over 17 years, and in that time has leveraged their specialized commitment to exceptional customer service, quality products, innovative technology to become one of the most respected industry-leading data collection firms in the country. Now, QC and Rieker have been working together for just over 5 years, and we've executed several 100,000 centerline miles of horizontal curve surveys using Rieker's CARS technology. The new capabilities that we're presenting today are a product of the close relationship between the 2 firms. So we got a little bit of a background on QC. Let's talk about Reiker. So Reiker Incorporated is an American company located in Pennsylvania, delivering world-class leading tilt solutions across many industries for over 100 years. So having a 100-year history, that's a long history. We have some pretty cool historical events that we've been lucky enough to be a part of. So we were founded in 1917. Since then, Reiker inclinometers were utilized in both world wars. We were aboard the Spirit of St. Louis, the first transatlantic flight. And we've expanded various products across various industries in the years following that. So on the pictures to the right, we have the dashboard of the Spirit of St. Louis up top. Back in 1927, that's what it looked like with the Reiker inclinometer on there. And on the bottom picture, we have a rocket ship where you could find a Reiker inclinometer today in 2020. So we had that reliability and consistency back then, and we're still viewed that way today. Now, Reiker Incorporated, our recent technological innovations, we have some pretty cool ones. So in 2015, we developed CARS, which is a cost-saving for speed measurement. And now in 2020, we're bringing you the ADAM total solution. So we're going to hear plenty about that today and how it's a game changer for curb inspection. But before we talk about ADAM, let's talk about the current method of inspection being used today. So the current methodology expects an ADA certified inspector to measure the curb cuts using a digital level and a handheld measuring tape. Most states also require the inspectors to document correctness of the measurement with a photograph. So in the photographs to the right, we have a digital level and we have a measuring tape measuring the width of the curb. So this is what's being used today. It seems outdated to me just based on the technology that we have on hand in the world. And we should be utilizing that to ensure that the curbs are up to standard. So what are the problems associated with this current curb inspection method? Well, the current method's unreliable. It's not repeatable or traceable. The results are inconsistent. The method allows for subjectivity as well as transcription errors. So I think a perfect example that displays all the problems associated with the current method was done in an analysis done by the Oregon Department of Transportation. 97% of curbs in their area were not in compliance with ADA standard. So that really says that the methodology being used is flawed because you're getting such a high return that aren't passing the standard. So what's the liability to a problematic curb? Well, first and foremost, you create the risk of injury for anyone who may be accessing that, right? So if someone gets hurt, that's going to bring us to our next point, create the risk of lawsuit. And we're seeing it more and more cities, some notable cities such as LA and Atlanta. They're having to dish out millions of dollars to redevelop the curbs in their areas to meet the standard. So this is something that can be avoided as a whole if you get the inspection right the first time. And lastly, non-compliant curbs are against the law. So this is a part of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. It's a part of the 1990 ADA Act. That this isn't something that you can choose to follow when it's convenient with you. This is the law, and if you want to be in compliance with the law, you need to make sure that your curbs are up to the ADA standard. So how can you avoid this liability? Well, we bring you the Reiker solution. ADAM, a robust user-friendly forensic survey tool that measures curb ramps with consistency, accuracy, and repeatability, all with the National Institute of Standards and Technology traceability. So there's three main things that differentiate us from the current methodology: accuracy, consistency, and report generation. So we have accuracy up to 1/10 of an inch traceability. We have consistency, which means we're always going to get that same exact accurate measurement. And that measurement is the best thing on the market today, 0.1 inch traceability. And then we have report generation. So you can search that data at a later time without having to go to the curb and analyze those results without actually having to be at the curb. So it's searchable in the future. So those are the three main things that separate us. So now we have a product demonstration video. And in this video, you're going to get a product overview. And it'll show you all the cool features that ADAM has to provide and offer. So I'm going to show you guys this, and we'll meet right back up in about 2 minutes.
Introducing Reiker's all-new Advanced Data Acquisition and Measurement System, also known as ADAM. A total solution to curb cut inspection, ADAM offers consistently accurate forensic assessments for ADA compliance within 1/10 of an inch, all in under 10 minutes. The automated reference plane uses Reiker's high-quality inclinometers to determine the absolute zero from which all other measurements can be made. Once ADAM is level with reference to the horizon, the monopod is used to capture images of the entire site. With its 2 batteries lasting approximately 6 hours each, accompanied by its lightweight design, ADAM's monopod is capable of effortlessly surveying the site, virtually anywhere. Equipped with high-resolution imaging devices, ADAM guarantees consistent accuracy. The monopod's user interface offers an easy-to-use touchscreen experience, greatly simplifying the curb cut inspection process. By entering inspection details specific to each site, ADAM is able to create fully comprehensive reports with traceability to the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Marker plates create quick guidelines for rapid capture of measurements on site. An automatic report is then generated instantaneously. ADAM provides 2 solutions: the Reiker report, which is a compliance survey automatically completed on-site, and the infrastructure model, which generates a textured mesh file of the inspection site and its surroundings. The infrastructure model can be referred back to and adjusted at any time, enabling design engineers to view the inspection site from all angles, noting any impediments or obstacles, and ultimately aiding in successful redesign of the curb cut. The ADAM solution is the first curb cut inspection system of its kind, taking into consideration the whole process from start to finish. With ADAM, we can create a future accessible to all. For more constantly updating information about Reiker's ADAM solution, sign up for the Reiker Resource Library today at reikerinc.com/registration.
So as you can see, ADAM has tons of awesome capabilities, and we really touched on the reporting at the end of that video a little bit, but I want to take a deeper dive into that. So let's look at the results. So the Reiker Compliance Report and the Infrastructure Model Survey are the 2 types of reporting that we offer. The Reiker Compliance Report provides the user with measurements of the curb cut and allows the inspector to make any notes or comments. So it's just your basic measurements, and it allows the inspector to say, hey, this is in compliance or it's not in compliance. So it's just giving you your basic measurements. It's available in PDF and CSV format. Now, our more complex option is the Infrastructure Model Survey. Now, this provides the user with a detailed virtual CAD redesign of the area being inspected. So It includes general information on the cover page, such as location, inspection name, inspector name. It's available in PDF and CSV, as well as land XML, under 10 megabytes file size, and LAS file. Now, it gives the user a textured mesh, which allows an engineer or someone who is observing the curb to view it at their computer and assess the curb without actually having to be there. So it's really awesome stuff. And then it also gives you the PK nail position information, which serves as a reference, as well as the 2D images captured at the inspection site. So I'm going to show you guys a video that's going to get in more detail and show why each of these reports are unique in their own way and how they can be beneficial to the user. So this is about 2 minutes, and I'll meet back up with you right after that.
Welcome to Reiker's ADAM report demonstration. ADAM offers two solutions. The first is the Reiker report, a standard compliance report customized to meet the specific requirements for every state. This includes any data an inspector or engineer might need to determine if a curb cut meets ADA standards or requires redesign. This report utilizes both the ARP and markers to align, scale, and calculate accurate measurements within 1/10 of an inch, and will be exportable in PDF and CSV formats. Additionally, ADAM offers an infrastructure model that uses the ARP to generate a virtual model of the inspection site and its surroundings. The infrastructure model includes a cover page containing basic information specific to the inspection site, as well as PK nail position information for reference in a PDF or CSV file. A textured mesh file that allows design engineers to visit and assess the site virtually, a land XML format of the 3D model that will be under 10 megabytes, a full resolution point cloud and LAS file format, and copies of the 2D images the monopod captures at the inspection site. This infrastructure model enables engineers to redesign curb cuts without ever having to leave their desk, while simultaneously providing inspectors with the opportunity to cross-reference compliance reports with a model of the site itself, aiding in the reinspection and determination of a curb cut's compliance. If for any reason additional measurements must be taken, the infrastructure model enables an engineer or inspector to pull custom measurements from within the virtual model, meaning there is no need to revisit the site. All data can be collected using the infrastructure model generated during the initial survey. ADAM's textured mesh file generation also provides a view of an inspection site's surroundings, including all obstacles and design impediments an engineer must consider for successful redesign of a compliant curb cut. Ultimately, this is saving valuable time both in the field and throughout the redesign and inspection process. With ADAM, we can create a future accessible to all. For more information on the ADAM solution, sign up for the Reiker Resource Library today. Reiker Inc./registration.
So each report is unique in its own way and can provide the user with the information that they need specifically in that report. Now, I want to look at who benefits from ADAM exactly. So first and foremost, anyone living with a disability in America is going to benefit from this tool, right? They can have total peace of mind that the areas that they're going to will have curbs that they can access without any problems, right? So we have a civil obligation to the disabled community to ensure that they can go where they need to go. Now, the other parties on the other side are the people tasked with maintaining, developing these curbs. So all these departments and engineering firms, they're going to benefit greatly because it's going to remove a lot of that liability. Now, it's going to remove that headache as well because they know when they take a measurement, they're going to get it right the first time, right? It's like bringing a calculator to a math test. So we have a great product and we feel really confident about it. Now I want to bring you guys to the Reiker Resource Library. Now, the Reiker Resource Library includes additional resources on the American Disabilities Act as well as ADAM. So I provided a link for registration. It's totally free. It's like Keisha stated earlier, there's over 100 documents in there. It's a living library, constantly updated with various document types. So a lot of great information on there. Now, we feel we have a great product, as I stated earlier, but it was really important to us to be working with great people as well on this product. So that's why Quality Counts is offering ADAM as a turnkey solution. So what are the benefits of using quality counts and accredited vendor? Well, you get highly trained, proficient professionals in using Atom. They can cover large areas more efficiently and effectively, and it's cheaper than performing work in-house. So working with an accredited vendor like Quality Counts is really beneficial. Now, before we open the floor for questions, I just want to leave you guys with a few closing remarks here. Our goal in this presentation is to show you the steps that we're taking in order to create a more accessible future and challenge the standard of current curb inspection process. And we think the Atom solution is the tool to do it. Matter of fact, we know it. So I'd like to thank everyone for giving me the time to present. Thank you, Roxy. Thank you, all the attendees. I hope it wasn't too painful for anybody. I enjoyed it. I sure hope that you got some useful, valuable information. And, thank you. I'm going to hand the floor over to Joe, and he can answer any questions that anyone may have. So thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Perfect. Thanks, Colton, so much. All right, guys, thanks for sending in your questions. Joe, we have quite a few for you that have rolled in. The first one is, who certifies the inspector? I'm guessing that means for like ADA standards. Who says that they're an ADA certified inspector?
That's a good question. It's more of a marketing question than for me, but basically we will get together with each of the users on that, probably a train the trainer, and we will certify them in the use. We're putting together a guide on that. Hope that answers your question.
Okay, great. And Margaret, if that doesn't, just let us know and we can try to get back with you with a more detailed answer. And same goes for anyone. If the answer we give is insufficient, either chat back in the box or we can follow up with an email chain more specified to your question. And then another question we had is, what is the cost per ramp for the pricing for this?
Yeah, that's going to be more of a marketing question again. I'm more focused on the technology side, the application side, so I apologize for that.
Okay, Nikki, then we'll work on following up with you on that question. And then as far as the what municipalities or DOTs are currently using the technology?
So no municipality or jurisdiction is using it currently today. This is actually being released at the end of this month. And this is a first preview for Quality Counts. We've been working directly with Quality Counts in Kittleson. We have given various cities and jurisdictions basically a preview of it. We've done demonstrations down in Lexington. We've done demonstrations in Harrisburg, but it actually is going to be released first to Quality Counts at the end of this month.
Okay, awesome. And then another question, does it capture the crosswalk and roadway grade?
Yes, it does.
Okay, great. And then will the point cloud model provide colorized LAS files?
No, they're black and white.
Let's see here. How can Atom allow DOTs and other owners to verify that ADA curb ramps constructed under their project are constructed to current ADA standards? So how can you verify that, I guess?
I think, so how do we verify that? It starts with what Colt had talked about early on, which is making sure that the measurements are taken consistently and accurately. I think that's the first part about surveying and data collection, is assuring that the data is actually collected correctly. And that was our biggest fault. And I've actually shared a couple personal stories about how they were collected improperly previously, where it passed one day, then the next day it didn't pass, based on two different inspectors coming out inspecting the same curb ramp. So basically what this does is this will actually build either one of two outputs. It'll either build a report that'll say, yes, it was built correctly. All of the measurements that are dictated by the ADA are gathered, whether it's running length, slope, turnaround, cross slopes, gutter slopes. They will all be gathered so that compliance report can be filled out and you can be assured that the ADA guidelines are met. The model does a little bit different. Basically, it helps with scoping, and you can also generate measurements off of the model, by the way. I don't know if Colt talked about that, but that will help you with technical infeasibilities. It'll also, if you have to redraw it, you could use the reduced format LAS file that we do that's been decimated down below 10 megabytes. And you can actually bring that into your Civil 3D software, for example, or MicroStation. And you can redraw a non-compliant curb ramp to be compliant. And you can hand that off to whatever subcontractor that you're working with. So basically, well, I hope that answered the question. If it didn't, just let me know.
Yeah, I think that was great. And then what is the average time it takes to measure a ramp using Atom?
That's a great question. So at the very beginning, we wanted to provide a better solution and for gathering that data, but we wanted it to be about the same amount of time. And it takes about 10 minutes to do a typical curb ramp compliance report. That is unboxing the equipment, setting up the equipment, acquiring the data, and packing up and leaving. It can be as long as 15, but on average, it's anywhere between 7 to 10 minutes. And that's pretty comparable to what I used to do in the field with a clipboard and a tape measure and a smart level, assuming that I took the time to actually calibrate my smart level before I used it.
Gotcha. Okay. And then for the standards, the question is, what standards do you use? 2010 or PROWAG, PROWAG?
So that's another very good question. So what we do is we provide a data dump. So what we'll do is we'll give you on the report all of the required measurements that you need. For example, a running length. We'll give you 3 running lengths, and we'll just give you the data. So we'll say that it's a particular measurement, and you can average those measurements. You can take the low, the high value, and it is really up to the person who's reviewing the report, the engineer's signature, to sign off on that and say, yes, it's good. We will give you areas of interest that fall outside the ADA guidelines, but we've found that different jurisdictions follow different guidelines. So, for example, you may not just follow strictly the ADA, the ADAC guidelines. You might follow heavily the PROAG guidelines. So that's up to the individual jurisdiction to say yes or no. I personally have been running into jurisdictions that just recently, contrast, for example, on the DWS, the ADA says it has to have a high contrast. Certain jurisdictions say, no, it's not required in this historical district. So it gives that ability for the engineer to sign off on that, because again, it's just a data dump. We're not telling you that it's right or wrong. We are telling you that there is an area of interest that you should look at. That, for example, this turnaround area might be 35.5 inches where it should otherwise be required as 36.
Okay, gotcha, that makes sense. And then for the slope accuracy, did it say 0.17 degrees?
It's 0.1 inch is what we're talking about for accuracy. We don't translate that over to the percent slope. So it's 0.1 inch in our measurement. As you know, slopes are just an expression of rise over run. So our rise and run measurements are within 0.1. We have been observing each time you have a report generation, it'll actually give you the observed accuracies. I'm looking at a report right here. So a measurement of 4.00 was actually measured at 3.99. So in this particular case, we were actually within 0.01 inch. So the 0.1 is just our max allowed error on the measurement side.
Okay, gotcha. And then is it possible to get the simplified report initially and then get a more complex report later without having to go back in the field?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then let's see here. This may be more of a question for Colton, but how can we as engineers help to market this product to our clients?
That would again go back to the marketing team.
Mm-hmm.
I have some ideas, but that would be a good marketing question.
Yeah, I mean, I think really just putting it out, showing your clients the issues with the current methodology really just shows why this tool needs to be used, nationwide. With such high percentages of inaccurate curb inspection, you're eliminating that completely with this tool. So this tool is really a game changer. Like I said, it's like bringing the calculator to a math class. So I think just showing people or clients or engineers or whomever that, we have a tool that's going to work and it's always going to work is, really important part of it.
Right. Yeah. And I think also to kind of chime in on that too is that just by going to y'all's living resource library, sharing a lot of that information with clients is another great way to show them, hey, this is something you need to be in compliance, and this is the research and the white papers we've done, and why it's a valuable solution.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Clayton asked if we could clarify, is this a service you are marketing to provide a software or hardware sales package?
Joe?
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Yeah. Is this a service you are marketing to provide or a software hardware sales package?
So right now we're working directly with Quality Counts in Kettleson to place these tools with them. So this is a hardware package and a software service behind the scenes to support them, and they would provide the labor in the field. Does that answer the question?
Yes, I think that does great. And then let's see here. Oh, one more time, Colton, can you tell us where, what website it is for where all the white papers are listed in the resource library is?
Yeah, so I provided a link in the PowerPoint, and I can definitely provide a link for the registration page for everyone in the webinar after.
Okay.
In the notes or send an email out with the registration page. It's very simple to sign up. There's directions there. You enter your information in. It's completely free, and then you get those resources available to you. And you can go through anything regarding ADAM or ADA that we have in there. 100+ documents. So.
Okay, real quick, would you mind getting that link and copying it into the chat box so that anyone can click on it real quick, just so they can have that. And trying to see, let's see if we have any other questions that came in. Okay, if you have 2 ramps on, this is for you, Joe. If you have 2 ramps on one corner, is that 2 separate setups?
Great question. Yes, that would be 2 separate inspections.
Okay, great. And then another question, have you identified funding that could be pursued that could fix problems? If so, how successful have you been in obtaining funding from municipalities?
So we have not identified that as of to date. We've been focusing more on the technology and releasing this, but this is one thing that our marketing group is currently focused on, is finding that source funding together with our with the Quality Counts in Kettleson group.
Okay, gotcha. And then a follow-up question from one we had earlier. Can you, as a survey company, buy this hardware and use it on projects with clients, or do we have to contract with Kettleson or Quality Counts?
That's another great question. So for today, it's the latter. Our first release is going to be directly with Quality Counts in Kettleson, and you would have to work through them. So we will look at the later opportunities to send that out to third parties from here. But initially, that is going to be released exclusively through them for today.
Great. Okay, and I think we have one last question, which I'm not exactly sure what this is referencing, but Brian wants to know, was that Harrisburg, North Carolina, and maybe in one of the videos?
No, that was Harrisburg, PA, and I apologize for not clarifying that earlier.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Well, that's all the questions I see right now. If anyone has, oh, there's the link. Great. Thanks, Keisha, for sending that out. So if you are interested in the resources, go ahead and register there and you'll have access to that library. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to email us. I'll send our email in the chat box as well, info@qualitycounts.net. And we are planning on having the recording of this webinar up on our website at the end of the week, and we'll also include the registration link there again. So if you, let's see here, okay. Oops, let me resend this registration link. It was just sent to panelists, so hold on just a minute. Okay, now everyone should be able to see the registration link, but we'll have this up on the website, so feel free to look at it, forward it on. I know some people had to skip out or wanted to share it with other colleagues or clients. Feel free to reference this in the future, and we hope everyone has a great week. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.